Probably one of the most anticlimactic events for me this year was when I got vaccinated. I'm a teacher, so already in February I had my second dose. I marked both appointments in my calendar, marked a 2-week date after the second vaccine, and said to myself, now everything will change and it will go back to normal. It did not. Part of it obviously has to do with how early I got the vaccine. As a teacher, I got a full 2 months earlier than most of my friends. However, another element of the issue was the uncertainty of the situation, something that we are still dealing with now. Yes, I am vaccinated, but what does that mean? Can I be indoors without masks, eat outside in closed spaces without? What were the limits of what I should do, and how careful should I still be? Throughout the pandemic, we face this issue, the problem of uncertainty. And that feeling can sometimes feel crippling. There has to be a truth. So what is it? Why can't anyone tell me? There is a novel reading from the Meshiloach, Rabbi Mordechai Yosef Leiner, the Rebbe of Ishbitz, that deals with this issue. The second parsha of this week's reading is Behar-Bechukotai. It starts off with a conditional statement from God. Im Bechukotai telechu, ve'et mitzvotai tishmaru, v'asitem otam. If you follow my laws and faithfully observe my commandments. If you follow Hashem's laws, then good things would follow. The Ishbitzer rereads this pasuk. He does not read it as a conditional statement of if you follow my laws, but rather as a description, be'im bechukotai telechu, with an if you will follow my laws. He says, im hu lashon safek, ki mi yodea im mekayim et haTorah k'omek ratzon Hashem yisbarach. He poses an incredible question to the religious person. Can you ever be certain that you are truly following the will of Hashem? I don't want to speak about the theological implications of this reading, but rather the psychological. Is the Meshiloach really advocating imbuing Avodat Hashem with a constant sense of self-doubt? Isn't that an incredibly destructive of a religious mindset? Aren't we striving for truth, for certainty? To tackle this issue of self-doubt, I think we need to illustrate what uncertainty and truth really means. There is a midrash that tells about the creation of humanity. When God was creating humans, different angels took different sides to answer a crucial question. Is it a good idea to create humans? The angel representing Chesed said, let humans be created because they will bestow kindness. Emet says, let humans not be created because they are entirely made of lies. Tzedek said, let humans be created because they will do righteous acts. And Shalom said, let humans not be created because they are entirely made of disagreement. What did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? The Midrash says God took truth and flung him to the ground. Thus it says, V'tishlach emet arza, you will cast truth from the ground, quoting from Sefer Daniah. The angels then asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Master of the worlds, why do you despise the seal of truth? This is your seal. This is what God represents, truth. And they continue and say, let truth rise from the ground. As it is written, Emet me'eretz titzmach. Truth will grow from the earth. Read at face value, the Midrash seems to argue that truth has no place in the human sphere. God threw it to the ground. The truth will always be beyond human comprehension. It has no place in our creation. However, if you read it a bit more carefully, you can come to a different conclusion. God does not destroy truth. He does not annihilate it to oblivion. He throws it to the ground, to the eretz, the ground on which humankind lives and breathes. And while it might be hidden in the depths of the earth, the angels note that it will still grow there. This shows that truth is not gone or destroyed, but could have the potential to fully manifest in our lives. But we have to realize it's a process. It has to grow. And that is where uncertainty lies. We are not uncertain about the existence of a truth, but we must have the humility to realize that it may take time to approach an understanding of it. The pandemic, both in its start and where we are now, highlights this so well. There are so many things we are unsure about, but emet is a process. It needs time to grow, and in the pandemic, it needed time to grow. It needed experts to conduct tests, to create safe guidelines. And now, as we're hopefully reaching the beginning of the end of this pandemic, we are still left with those same questions, just in different forms. And as we tackle these questions, when we tackle them, we should not tackle them with a sense of frustration, but realize that truth is a process. That is the lesson from the Ishbitzer. Follow my laws with an if. Do Avodat Hashem with an if, not out of self-doubt, not out of denial, but with humility. A humility that realizes that there is a greater truth, one that we might not be able to fully understand, and we just have to let it grow. Emet needs time to grow from the earth, and we need to have patience to let that happen. Have a good Shabbat.